Genius.
Oh, he's a genius. Well, he's also like, he's the most meticulous when it comes to game planning and study. He will not take a short notice fight. Even a guy that he could fucking beat any day of the week. He could wake him up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He could fuck that guy up. He will not take that fight unless he gets a full training camp to prepare for that fight. Well, it's just, you know, greatness. But the Jon Jones Alex Pereira fight would probably be the biggest fight in human history.
I mean, that
in
at
MMA,
the White House?
In MMA, but as a matchup, you got the greatest of all time in Jon Jones, and arguably the most destructive striker that's ever competed.
Yeah.
No one's like.
The rumors are no longer whispers. They're getting louder by the day. Jon Jones is no longer just considering the White House card. He's working towards getting his name stamped on it. Analysts are already speculating on what that might mean in terms of legacy, risk, and timing. That's because when Jon Jones makes a move around a fight of this magnitude, it's not taken lightly. If this card is meant to be historic, the most polarizing and dominant force of his generation wants to be at the very epicenter of it.
Queria super luta.
No, I want a super fight.
Oh, super fight at heavyweight.
I can think of one.
Wow.
name
Derek
that would,
Lewis?
That would do it for us.
Who else is there?
It's Aspinall, man.
Bom, não sei se, pô, Casa Branca, Jon Jones.
Jon
Seria uma
Jones.
super luta.
At the White House.
Jon Jones. That's
okay.
a super fight.
All right, so he's cool waiting if it's.
When Joe Rogan discusses what sets Jon Jones apart, he points to the environment in which he was raised. Growing up with brothers who have achieved at the NFL level, including one brother playing for the New England Patriots, meant that Jones was competing at an elite level every day of his life. The take here from Rogan's discussion of Jones is that he was not simply blessed with ability, he was forged in a crucible of daily battles with elite competitors. Add to this his dedication to studying opponents and his fight IQ being on another level, and what you have is a fighter designed to outclass everyone in front of him.
You just get in there and just fuck everybody up. I mean, he has a unique aptitude for MMA, but also he had two brothers that were super
Chandler
athletes.
Jones. Yeah, played for the Patriots.
And Arthur.
Yeah.
And so these guys are super athletes. And so they're beating the shit out of each other all the time.
Right,
so they're like constantly in competition with elite athletes from the time he was a child. So he was just so tuned into competition, and he was so intelligent. Like his fight IQ was above and beyond everyone's. And he would study tape.
Adding on, he makes it clear if Jones even believes a June fight is possible, he's already working. Maybe not loudly, maybe not in one fixed camp, but sharpening tools behind the scenes, lifting heavy, staying ready the way he did when he packed on serious muscle for heavyweight. And if the opponent ends up being Alex Pereira, Rogan suggests the preparation is already happening mentally, if not physically. The matchup he keeps circling? Jones versus Pereira at the White House, a blockbuster that would dwarf everything else in the conversation, even talk of Tom Aspinall.
I guarantee you, if John really thinks that he's fighting in June, he's already in camp.
Oh, so he's making it seem like he's not potential.
I would imagine that John is preparing, because like John has different places to train. You know, he doesn't just train at one place.
Yeah.
But I could imagine he does a lot of weightlifting too. He got put on a lot of like real muscle mass when he went up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
If John really thinks he's going to fight Alex Pereira, he's getting ready.
Yeah.
He's at least getting ready in his mind.
Would it be Alex, or do you think it would be
Alex.
really?
Yeah,
So the Tom ship has sailed.
No, it hasn't sailed, but the big money fight is Alex and Jon Jones at the White House.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Catch weight. Make it 225. You know, Alex still is the light heavyweight champion. Make it a catchweight fight. You don't have to be for a title. Make it the bad motherfucker upper edition. You know, you have the BMF belt for one.
And that's exactly why the idea keeps gaining traction. Alex Pereira isn't asking for a safe defense or a routine contender. He's targeting Jon Jones on the sport's most outrageous stage. In the eyes of Michael Bisping, that kind of ambition isn't reckless, it's earned. Pereira's run has been built on violent comebacks, chilling knockouts, and moments that shift arenas from tense to explosive in seconds. The fan base is massive, the impact undeniable. Yes, challengers like Carlos Ulberg and Jiri Prochazka exist, but Prochazka has already fallen to him twice, and a pure striking battle likely leans Pereira's way. If anyone has positioned himself for a blockbuster leap, it's him.
He wants to take on Jon Jones at the White House, the greatest of all time, depending on who you ask, of course. We're not getting into that whole debate, but that's what Pereira wants. Now, I will say this. The man should be afforded some wild opportunities. What he did, the way he came back, the way he thrills audiences, the knockouts that he's had, the career that he's had, the impact that he's made on this sport, and the fan base that will once again be behind him is immense, okay? So I say give the man some fun fights. Yes, of course, there is Carlos Ulberg out there, and there is Jiri Prochazka. Jiri, I could not be a bigger fan of that guy. I love that guy, but he's been beaten by Alex twice. I hate to say it, I don't think the outcome would be much different. Carlos Ulberg, yeah, sure. Make him fight Carlos Ulberg, probably beat Carlos Ulberg.
If anyone has earned the right to chase something huge, it's Pereira, and Jon Jones agrees with Bisping. He sees Alex Pereira as the perfect star for a White House spectacle, a household name, a proven champion, and the kind of fighter who guarantees a blockbuster. Jones frames it as another chapter in a long history of taking on elite Brazilian talent, and with both men at the peak of their powers, he believes this matchup could completely reset what fans expect from a mega fight.
The big card you keep talking about that you want to be on, a White House card, right?
Yeah, dude.
Who do you want for that? You want Pereira?
I'd like to fight Alex Pereira at the White House. I feel like he's incredibly respectful. I feel like he's a household name in America and MMA. Everybody knows who he is. He's a champion. He's in the conversation of being one of the greatest fighters of all time. It would be a blockbuster event. I think the whole world would come out. I've beat many Brazilians over the course of my life. Either way that fight were to go, no one loses in that fight. It generates so many millions for the sport. There's just no losing when you have such high level people competing who respect each other.
When you talk about the White House and having the greatest American fighter of all time, I mean, how can you have a White House card without literally the GOAT? The GOAT.
On the other side of things, Daniel Cormier doesn't hold back when ranking Jon Jones. In his eyes, Jones stands above every fighter at their peak. Cormier admits that even at his own best, when they faced off the second time, Jones was nearly untouchable, and he doubts anyone could have toppled him then. Jones himself recognized the danger in different contexts too, noting that a boxing match would have been even trickier because of his kicks and knees. While Cormier acknowledges other elite talents like Khabib Nurmagomedov or Conor McGregor at their primes, he leaves no doubt Jon Jones at his peak was in a class of his own.
At his absolute best, is there anybody in UFC history was a better fighter than Jon Jones?
No.
Not even close. Not St. Pierre.
No.
Not Anderson.
The truth.
Not Demetrius.
Hey, let me tell you something. People like to say you be hating on Jon Jones, man. He beat you. I said, listen, man, and I told you this whenever I did your podcast.
You did.
I was so good when he beat me that second time that if he beat me that time, I don't think nobody could beat him. He was so, plus he tall, he got long arms.
84-inch reach.
Yep, he got good knees.
Elbow.
Him and I did that thing together, and we were talking about boxing. And he was like, if we boxed, it would be much harder fight.
Right.
He goes, because I kick Daniel a lot, and I need Daniel a lot.
Right.
And I think that is why, or a thing that people underestimate about him. I don't think in terms of skills, maybe Khabib was as good, but Conor McGregor was real good whenever he was like on his game, not messing up.
Moreover, Rampage Jackson isn't shy about the lasting effects of Jon Jones's signature oblique kicks. Even now, they still rattle his knees, but Jackson makes it clear, if the chance had come during their fight, he would have thrown Jones to the mat without hesitation, Arona style. The message is simple. Those kicks left their mark, but the fight's memory comes with a promise. Next time, he's ready to return the favor.
Are your knees still hurt after his oblique kicks?
Yeah, fuck them oblique kicks. Yeah.
Rampage, how do you think if Jon Jones got stuck in the same position like Arona did, would you slam Jon Jones or it would be
slam the
hard?
shit out of that motherfucker if he was dumb enough to hold on to a triangle choke. Fuck yeah, slam the shit out of Jon Jones' ass.
However, Chael Sonnen breaks down the buzz around Jon Jones wanting a spot on the White House card with a mix of openness and pragmatism. Jones, Sonnen notes, is ready to show Dana White that he's serious, a straightforward pitch that raises bigger questions about how it would all come together. Sonnen admits he's receptive to the idea. Jones might be the UFC's best fighter, and if the card wants a patriotic headline, the man in Albuquerque could deliver. But Sonnen tempers the hype, reminding everyone that a main event doesn't have to hinge on nationality or even guarantee an American victory.
Jon Jones wants on the White House card. Jon Jones is willing to prove his sincerity that he wants on the card to Dana White. That's a pretty simple statement. And I appreciate the simplicity of the statement. It gets a little bit more complex when you simply ask, how? Like, I'm very open to this idea, and I am very open to Jon being our best fighter. I'm very open to the idea that if we want to cap the card off with an American victory, the surest bet we've got is sitting in Albuquerque. I'm not sold on the idea that it does need to be an American victor or even an...
Sonnen lays out the matchmaking logic for Jon Jones in clear terms. He doesn't see a scenario where Jones would face Cyril next. The plan, Sonnen says, points toward Tom Aspinall, regardless of championship status. The reasoning is simple. If a fighter has a kryptonite somewhere in the bracket, and it's clear who it is, the smart move is to tackle that obstacle first. In this case, if Tom represents the real challenge, it makes sense to face him head on rather than take an easier detour.
Is there a scenario where you would bring Jon in to fight Cyril? I don't think so. I believe that Jon's next fight is going to be against Tom, and I don't believe that that matters whether Tom is the champion or not. If somebody has a kryptonite, and if that guy is floating around the bracket, and if you know that guy is going to be next, let's just say that it's Jon versus Cyril. We would have a very high degree of confidence of what's going to happen there, considering we've already seen it happen once. That person draws in to Tom. So if Tom is the problem, and we're not going to be able to solve that problem, it might as well just be the one that we start with.
However, MMA Guru is warning that Jon Jones might not make it to the White House card because Dana White is reportedly fed up with him. Years of tension, humiliation, and broken expectations, especially after Dana thought Jones would finally fight Tom Aspinall, have left the UFC and its president looking bad. According to The Insider, Dana feels the whole situation made the organization look weak and even made him personally look pathetic. With Jones's actions following Dustin Poirier's retirement, it seems White has had enough, leaving Jones's White House appearance in serious doubt.
Dana White's done with Jon Jones, dude. And you want to know why? Jones humiliated him for years. And Dana thought that Jones, after all of this, was actually going to fight Tom Aspinall, and that all of the humiliation would pay off in the end. And it didn't. It did not pay off at all. It made the UFC look bad. It made the UFC look pathetic, but also it made Dana look bad, and it made Dana look pathetic, and he's done. He's done with Jon Jones, and this was just after Jon Jones, after Dustin Poirier's retirement, by the way. Jones made it all about him fuck himself.
With Dana White reportedly fed up and Jones's spot on the White House card in question, Rashad Evans offers a solution on how to handle the situation. He suggests a bit of push and pull, making Jones earn his place and show he's fully committed. By having him prove he's all in, Evans believes it guarantees that Jones will come to camp focused, disciplined, and prepared to perform at his absolute best, leaving no room for distractions or antics and ensuring the fight delivers at the highest level.
What do you think? Do you think he'll manage to change their minds? We still got a lot of time. Dana said they're not going to start really building things till February. What does your gut say? Do we see him fight at the White House?
Yeah, but you got to make him beg a little bit, though. You got to make him beg. You got to make him beg a little bit, so that way you know that he's buying all the way in. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make him beg, make him plead his case, And that way you get him to totally buy in. So then that way there's going to be none of those antics. And you know that he's going to be showing up to practice, showing up to try to make sure he's the best that he can be for that fight.
Whereas Javier Mendez isn't holding back on Jon Jones's legacy, arguing that PED violations keep him from being the true GOAT. For Mendez, Khabib sits at the top, and while Jones belongs in the conversation, rule-breaking disqualifies him from being considered the best. He points out that in any legitimate sport, cheating strips credibility. Olympic gold medalists who are caught lose their place in history, and Jones should be judged the same way. With that in mind, Mendez's stance suggests there's little reason to hype him as a headliner for the White House card when his track record raises serious questions about integrity.
I think the number one for me at the moment is Islam Makhachev, and I think the GOAT for me is Khabib, and I would put Jon Jones in that category, but I can't because of you know, you paid the price, you lost your prize, you know, like any sport, right? If you're caught doing something you shouldn't have been doing, how can you be considered at the top of the league? I mean, if this is a true sport, you cannot, even though you cannot put that person ahead. You know, how many people have won Olympic gold medals and then they find out that they cheated one way or another and they got the Olympic gold medals taken away from them? Well, if it's true for any other sport, it should be true for MMA too. So that's the only reason why I don't consider him the greatest. I do consider him one of them, even though, but I would have considered him the greatest of all time for damn sure. Yes, 100%.
So will Jon Jones actually return to face Alex Pereira at the White House card? It's hard to say. With Dana White's frustrations and Pereira's rise, nothing's certain. If it happens, it'll be a battle of Jones's experience versus Pereira's striking power, and either could come out on top. Share your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates on this potential blockbuster.